Going to be kind of a longish video, but let me show you 3 plants that are applicable to women for women's health issues, specifically uterine type issues, okay? And just to be clear, I'm only going to talk about the properties that are related to women's health. These herbs have many other properties, but this is just what I'm focusing on in this video. This is mugwort, Artemisia vulgaris. It's a well-known emmenagogue, which means it brings on menses. You can see the silvery undersides of these kind of furry leaves here. This is some dried mugwort. So this is what it looks like when it's dried, and you could just crumble it up, and you can make it into a tea. It's pretty bitter as a tea. I would prefer a tincture, honestly, for me, or you can like dry it, crumble it up and make it into capsules or whatever you need to do to get it into you. Traditionally, I think it was taken as a tea, just a very bitter, unpleasant tea, or you could potentially eat it as a food, but it's going to do the most medicinal value, like what we talked about in a tea or a tincture form. This flower here is yarrow. Yarrow is going to be something that stops bleeding, whether you take that internally. If you're hemorrhaging internally and bleeding, potentially bleeding to that internally, you want to take yarrow as preferably a tea or a tincture, like a really lot of tincture, a strong tincture. I think they said up to like a bottle worth of it, a lot of tincture, or a couple of cups of tea, and that's going to help over time, over the course of like a day or so. It'll help stop the bleeding internally. Incidentally, yarrow also helps with fevers and reducing fevers, and the medicinal parts that you usually want are the aerial parts, so the flowers and the leaves. This is some dried yarrow, or yarrow, however you want to pronounce it. The flower heads and the leaves are the main medicinal parts that you would want to grind up and either make into a powder, where you would take that as a powder, or a tea. You could also make this into a tincture pretty easily. The powder, by the way, would be applied topically, like to stop the bleeding, but if you need it internally for stopping bleeding from your uterus, obviously you want to take it as a tea. This is also, again, bitter and pretty unpleasant as a tea, so a tincture would be my preferred way to go. These are the flowers of Queen Anne's lace, Stachys carota. There's some common mistakes you can make identifying them. I go over that more in my book. Looking for the queen has hairy legs, see hairy legs of the stem. But what you're waiting for here right now is the seeds. These are some dried Queen Anne's lace seed heads that I harvested. You see all these tiny little seeds in here. You would just harvest those after the plant is dried, and you can then grind them up or use them whole, use them fresh, whatever you need to do. I think the whole seeds are probably going to be a little stronger, but grind them up as needed. I wrote a book that you can get that's a 3-parter, and one of the parts near the back is all of my plant identification tips, and I give you quite a few lessons about the plant and further places you can look for more information. That book is going to be super duper helpful for you along your foraging and herbalism journey, and also support me, say thank you, and help give me the time and money I need to finish writing my other herbal healing book for you. Thank you.